Hi guys, I really apologise for how late this video is because I haven't made a video since I've been here, and it's been so full on that I haven't really had the energy and time to put aside to do that. But I really wanted to update everyone like what's been going on before I leave, because tomorrow is my last full day here, and I'm leaving early on Friday morning, so Friday the 30th, something like that, of April. So yeah, I'm still here at Leeds, the NICPM, which is the National Inpatient Centre for Psychological Medicine. But before you judge that, I don't know, I really think that it should be the National Inpatient Centre for Neurological Medicine, because I mean, they treat, there's people here with things like cerebral palsy and functional neurological disorder and all these kind of things that obviously psychology is going to have an impact on those, but at the same time they are illnesses, they're physical illnesses, it's not like it's just a matter of changing your mindset. So I just wanted to say that because I think it's what turns a lot of people off, and understandably, because if someone said to me, your C.F.S is all in your head, it'd just be like, it's a physical illness, So I just wanted to say that just to clarify for people. But yeah, it has been, to be honest, it's been really, really difficult. And like I said, I haven't had the energy to put aside to make a video like this. But I wanted to do it before I go, just to kind of give a rough idea of like what's been going on. So yeah, 6 months in, and I mean, I could basically, if I wanted to kind of show you where I started and where I am, I basically came in a wheelchair. I could walk a small amount, so I was doing like, I could kind of walk to the toilet and back, and then sometimes I would use my wheelchair to go to the toilet and back. And I was pretty much stuck in my room. I had my meals in my room, which is the same at home. I had to have like lunch and dinner in the bed and breakfast. And I could do a little bit of walking, but the majority of me getting around was in my wheelchair. It was starting to pick up at home, and when I came here, I had like a huge crash. It was just such a change in everything, and there were a lot of things that I kind of just quickly changed, like I don't know, like getting changed in the morning, every morning, into proper clothes, and then getting changed into pajamas, because I kind of felt self-conscious here. Like you're in a ward with loads of people you don't know. I didn't want to, I didn't want to be, walking around or wheeling myself around in like pajamas or tracksuit bottoms or whatever. I wanted to feel kind of confident, so I kind of made that jump just straight away to like, right, I'm wearing normal clothes for the day and pajamas at night, and I was getting changed. And there were loads of things like that it was difficult here in this environment to carry on doing it the way that I had done at home, so I had to just switch. And that, plus all of the different change in, environment, people, noise, all that stuff, meant I had a really, really rough start. So that's kind of where I was, and yeah, I was in a lot of pain every day, and I was mostly stuck in my room, except for like the occasional toilet trip. And I guess now, if I want to keep it kind of brief, like yesterday actually is a really good example, because yesterday I walked from here right down to the end of the ward, out of the ward, and then about half a kilometre into Leeds, into the kind of centre, to the library, and then did a group at the library for about half an hour, and then walked all the way back. And that, compared to what I was doing, is absolutely insane. It's over a kilometre in total, that walk, plus like 30 minutes of a social group. And yeah, and that was just one activity, you know, that was like one thing in the day. And then later on I did like probably like an hour, to be honest, of gardening. And so yeah, it's, you know, it's crazy. And in terms of like what I'm doing day to day, because I'm not doing that every day, but day to day, I don't need the wheelchair anymore. Like I'm walking around the ward as much as I want, to get drinks, to have meals in the dining hall, to go out in the conservatory, all of that stuff. You know, standing up to start having a standing shower. And again, that was one of my goals, my original goals. And I couldn't wash before I came here. I would sometimes at night I would get like a tub of hot water and just wash my face. Sometimes put my feet in it, like on the floor. But I couldn't wash, you know. And now I'm having a standing shower every day, you know. And it's just things like that. It's like there's so much progress with that. So all of my day-to-day stuff within the ward, I'm doing walking, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then if we're talking about outside of the ward, it's really only in the last couple of months that I've been able to start going outside of the ward on a regular basis. And I've built it up to the point now where I'm doing about a kilometre every day after lunch. So that's every day, you know, unless like yesterday there's a group on and I'm kind of walking to somewhere. But if not, then after lunch every day I go out for a kilometre walk. And yeah, you know, it's really cool when I think about all of that, all of the physical stuff that I've built up and been able to do. I guess there's kind of one caveat, and that is that my pain level is still really high. And that's something that has been kind of distressing for me. And even like as recent as last week, you know, I was in a really, really rough place with the pain. And I was pretty petrified about coming home because there's likely to be a little bit of, you know, my body getting used to that new environment again, you know. So I was pretty scared. I still am a little bit, but I've got a few pain medications like paracetamol and some codeine, which they're prescribing me for a short period of time to help me adjust back home if I need it. So I'm feeling a bit better about that. But yeah, I mean, I did say to them last week, I was quite blunt because I felt like they just weren't getting it. I was kind of saying to them like, my functioning started here and it's through the roof now, you know, relative to where I was, I'm doing so much more. But my pain's kind of stayed there, you know, it hasn't really shifted. It's still on a lot of days kind of getting to the limit of like how much I can bear. And obviously I can't say that it's their fault, it's just how the pain is with me, you know. We're still working on it, and I hope that as I continue to make like physical progress, that pain will start to come down, because obviously it's going to get to a point where I'm doing as much physically as I really need to do in a day. You know, like once I'm able to work and exercise and all of that stuff, then I don't have to keep pushing my physical functionality up and up. So I'm hoping at that point it means that I'm not having to push into new activities that cause more pain. So that's kind of the hope, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of a comparison. I'm aware that the video is going on for quite a long time. Just a brief point about like medications and things, because I guess a lot of people are going to be wanting to know like what it is they've done here. And I think it's really a combination of loads of different stuff. We've got the medication, which is, for me, sertraline, quetiapine, and then the medications that I was already on for pain, like amitriptyline, gabapentin, ibuprofen, and then now I've got paracetamol as a backup. So that's the medication. I do have to come down the amitriptyline over time because it's not really compatible with the sertraline and quetiapine. But I'm going to do that at home when I get back. So that's kind of the medication stuff. And then I guess it's like, I guess a large part of it is just like trying to bring your attention away from the pain, away from the situation, and into other stuff. So there's kind of, there's quite a high kind of social side, like you know, talking with people, just being in social groups, which I think is like really beneficial for us. Obviously you've got to pace it, but I think that's a large part of it. And I think in my like Instagram posts and things like that, I detailed the kind of, I think they call it like the biopsychosocial approach. So the bio is obviously like the medications, they obviously double check, like in terms of blood tests and all of that stuff they did at the start. So they kind of check all of that and make sure you don't need any supplements or things like that. And yeah, that's kind of the bio side. The psycho is obviously like I said, trying to bring your attention away from the pain. And I guess for me, a large part of it, and this is quite specific to my case, it might not apply to everyone, but for me it was like they wanted to bring my focus and attention away from like striving. So like in terms of I guess I was doing like revision or work, even though I have no need to. I was kind of making myself learn and making myself kind of study and read things that, I guess I was putting so much emphasis on that because it's always been a part of my life, like to get into uni and to get the PhD that I would have done. I've had to do that all my life, like strive and push, but they wanted to bring my attention away from that and think like we just want you to do things that are more enjoyable. So I started painting and doing some like botanical painting, which I really enjoyed actually, but stuff like that. So it's basically trying to stop me from like pushing and striving, and try and allow myself to enjoy things more. And then another big thing that's probably, it can be relevant to other people as well, but it was quite specific, and that is just the boom and bust pattern. And I think actually a lot of people with ME, C.F.S. do fall into that pattern, because like when you feel a little bit better, you're like, oh, I can do all this new stuff. And yeah, you push it too far, So I think that was another big kind of thing that we've tried to tackle and tease apart, and just realize like, why am I doing that? What do I think is going to come of it, and is it helpful in the long term, and all of that kind of stuff. So I've been working with like a psychotherapist in terms of all of that. And then the final element is the social side, which I've already mentioned, is just trying to bring yourself into social situations and realize, I guess we kind of touched on like social anxiety and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of the approach, the biopsychosocial, and it's kind of impossible for me to go into detail about any of this stuff because I'm already like, the video is already nearly 15 minutes long, but that's just an overview. I've written a little bit more about it in detail on my Instagram posts, so my Instagram is bedbound botany, although I'm no longer bedbound, which is pretty cool. I've got to use, like, I have a couple of rests on the bed a day for about half an hour, so like maybe I spend like an hour maybe like laying in bed each day, but the rest of the time I'm sitting up, standing up, or walking. So anyway, I'm going to stop the video here. I did want to make another video just showing you around the ward. I've got to be kind of careful because obviously I can't film other patients and stuff like that, but I might do that in a separate video because this is going to get too long. But anyway, I'm going home on Friday, and yeah, I'm really grateful for all the help that everyone's given me here. Sometimes I still feel like they haven't quite understood in terms of the pain, but yeah, overall the change in my functionality has been massive. So I can go home and adjust and then start my life, start my life again in a way, and just, yeah, I'm quite excited. So anyway, I might not be able to reply to any comments on this because the next few days, well, the next few weeks or even months are going to be pretty hectic, and I'm going to have to adjust to a lot of new things. So yeah, but I still appreciate people's comments. I'll still be able to read them. It's just the typing that still does hurt my head a little bit. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I will speak to you soon.